And again, we'll get our black screen. I like the black screen sometimes. I do. I do. That being said, we'll jump over here. Alright, end of the day. The very end of the day. Where can I put this that's out of the way? Can we stash it there? No, it's not a bomb. Some days with some of this craziness, I kind of wish it was kaboom, you know? Boom. No bombs though. We do have another body. Let's check it out. I don't know if that looks any better, honestly. We switched it out. I've got proof that I'm not lying. Right there is the Hero 3. I always confuse it because I used to have a Hero 3 Plus White edition, and this is just a Hero 3 White, so slightly different than the one I had. Takes the same batteries, all the same getup, but we got the Hero 4 up there. Hopefully it handles stuff slightly different. Next body is this here. Can you hear that? It's not really registering. If we have to, we'll adjust the mic. I don't think we'll need to. Anyhow, just real quick, this is my RC car. It is, well, let's go find it. See if we can find it. Shopping. Oh, I don't just want all. Give me all here. That's parts, products. Okay, so it is this. It's one of these. It's a Helion Verdikt. Mine is the blue one. I have the blue shell. I lost so it's minus a body in my compartment here. I took the little driver's head out. That's alright. We got Kitty if we want to give Kitty a ride. Anyhow, let's go back over here. So yeah, this is the car in question. I do have the charger. And the battery. We've got the charger and the battery here. You can stand a little closer if you want. Just if I bump into you, I don't mean it. All right, deal. So we got the charger. Looking at our screen there. We've got the stock gun. So we got the factory radio that comes with it. We've got the charger and the factory battery, as you can see. So that's basically what we're looking at there. And like I said, mine is this blue model here. I always run it without I mean, it looks cool. It looks super cool when you have the shell on it. Okay, it does. It's super cool. However, this one got a bit of an upgrade. Okay, they make an upgrade kit for it, and they didn't have any in stock the day I bought it. But it comes with a brushed motor. You get a brushed speed controller, and then it's like a speed controller servo all in one unit that sits in there for the steering. So I swapped out for a normal servo, a iconic receiver, and then a brushed motor. And it takes it from like 25 miles an hour, or 20 mile an hour, up to like 45, I think. 45 miles an hour, real speed. Like, it's very tough to drive on the street, okay? Super tough to drive on the street. Like, if you get it up to full speed, you need one. Like, I've never been huge on RC cars, but I got this to try and have fun with the kids, and hey, have fun. You gotta have fun yourself, right? Another thing I'm gonna try to do today, which I don't know why I need my ugly mug up on the screen, but when we're over here working, we got a nice let's see, what's that give you? That gives you a view, okay. When we're over here working, we've got a nice dead zone right there with our black screen. And we can put the camera up. It's not great, but I don't know how that'll work. We'll go with either that or that one we can pull in closer. Anyhow, upgrade kit, increase the speed of it. I'm surprised some of the wrecks that I've had with this thing and head on, like going full speed into curbs, and my daughter driving it, she hit a couple things, that the plastic has held up to it. And the guy told me when I bought it that you can get like upgrade parts. You can get like I believe a metal chassis, like the frame, and other metal parts. But I didn't get any of those, just the upgrade kit for the speed with a brushless motor, brushless what's it called? Receiver and speed controller, receiver, servo, and motor was everything that I had to put in. Definitely worth it. However, driving it last year, and this is where we need the tool I got out, well, tools. We're going to go ahead and pull this pin. Driving it last year in the summer, maybe it was the summer before, I don't know, I've had it for a little bit. Anyhow, amidst driving, it just stopped responding to throttle, and it makes an awesome, one of those awesome noises that isn't good. And also upgrading it, one other thing I mentioned, what is this? Okay, so it comes with a 2S 7.4 volt, which, okay, 2S or a 7.4 volt 1500 milliamp battery. Now, there are probably more than just the one that I found battery that will fit in your battery cage, or I suppose you could put the battery somewhere else if you wanted to strap it to it with some Velcro or something. But I upgraded from a 2-cell to a 3-cell. It's a 2000 milliamp. Wait, no, I guess this is 7.4 volt 2-cell also, but I believe this will handle a 3-cell battery with the upgrade, if I'm not mistaken. So I just wanted something that would run a little longer, and this is about as big as you're going to get battery wise. It's going to let it fit in there, because you still have to stuff all the cables in. And on top of that, I have a lead running down here for, it's a balance lead for this type battery, so we can power the FPV transmitter, which is here, and then I have a spot to hook up, where are the wires? Here, which I have a camera that goes onto it. Basically, to make it simple, sorry for bumping the mic there, and this is, this is super hacky, but you know what? It's a fun time when you actually drive it. I just got to show off this little piece of engineering that I did with some modeling plastic that I have. We'll get this out because the season is getting here where it's not going to be icy cold to stand outside. So I can get the camera back out. The GoPro basically records things. Okay, so with the GoPro recording, and I use this setup to attach cameras There we go. I use this setup to attach cameras to a quadcopter. Pretty much anything that a tricopter, anything that I have put a GoPro on, I've used this setup for my FPV camera. I'm sure they make similar setups. I just have to shake this camera a little up here. Hopefully I don't move it too much. We need one final piece. Okay, let's check the above. Looks good. Looks good, not horrible. Let's check. Alright, not great, but it's there. Back to this. So I've got this set up. Usually, if we have to go through the mounting and unmounting of a GoPro, so be it. So the GoPro would sit in here, there, and any way that I want to do it. I can put the camera over there, move it up above. Basically, this is a piece of plastic that I'd made out of Instamorph. I've talked about it before. Instamorph is a popular name. This is a different brand. U-mold plastic, basically, is it's a different brand other than Instamorph is the name brand stuff that you can sell online. It's super expensive, but it's awesome stuff. They always show on the boxes all these intricate little things that you can make. Like, see, you got a seahorse, a giraffe, it looks like a gummy bear, some dice. You have some type of USB thing with a switch and lights, a rose that's very intricate. You can repair sunglasses. I've repaired a lamp, never repaired scissors. And then, yeah. Oh. So, yeah, I've never done all that with it, but allegedly it can be done. So I just made a little bracket as best I could. All you need is that, and then one of the things that's like a lens protector, and I think it may have a polarizer filter or something built in, but it kind of lets you position a camera wherever you want around your GoPro, depending on how your GoPro mounts. And it's not going to block the lens. Once you start getting down in this area, you run the risk of it pressing in on the button and powering the camera off. So then, after that, your camera would basically, your little FPV camera would go through, or you can just go with the option of, they make a cable that goes right out of the GoPro USB port, I believe, right to your FPV transmitter, and that sends it out to a screen or goggles. So yeah, we're going to get this back up and going so we can have fun driving the car. Maybe we'll switch over to the 900 megahertz video system instead of the 5.8 and see how that does this year. Yeah. I mean, just in case anybody's wondering, wants to copy it, whatever, what keeps the camera in, you literally just hook a rubber band here, stretch it around, and then hook here. So you got to start on one side, go all the way across the front, around the back around, and then hook here. So it's a complete wrap where the rubber band would overlap around something. Pretty neat, real simple. I could slim it down a lot, maybe bend this stuff back where the camera clips in, but I wanted to leave compatibility for, we've got, this is what, a Pilot Cam 900 WDR, a Fat Shark camera, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, going by the writing. And then I have another camera on this thing, which needs to get some airtime this year. This is the Run Cam. It's very good at nighttime flying. It's that little orange thing, if anybody can see it right there. That is a camera. Not nighttime flying, but flying with very little to no light. I'm impressed. It's the, I think, Run Cam 2, Owl, or something. I forget the name of it. If I remember, I'll throw it in the description. Moving on from the camera, we're not going to be doing any driving or anything unless we repair this thing. So we need to see if we need parts, or do we need us some do we need to order parts, or do we need to put the parts that are in there back? So go ahead and move on. Let's get our parts. All right, there's that. And basically here is the problem. These battery connectors. All right, let's see what happens. All right, turn on your transmitter. I don't know if it's good safety practice or not, but one thing to do is RC car stuff, turn on your transmitter first before powering on your car or your plane or whatever. Not all models, but some, at some point. I don't know if they're still programmed to do so, but I think it's just random depending on what firmware and software is running on it. If it loses connection to the transmitter, it could just, you could have a flyaway, if it's a quadcopter or a tricopter, a drone, something like, you know, quote unquote drone. When the receiver loses connection to the transmitter, some of them will go full throttle, some will die and not go. So you never know. All right, so we do have steering, but can you hear that? Okay, so we've got no drive. Switch that back off. All right, it's off, transmitter off. Let's disconnect our battery and tear this thing apart quick and see if we can fix what's there. Or did it actually bust a gear? What I think is the main drive gear, the main little pinion gear that sits on the brushless motor, the stem that sticks, or axle, whatever it is. The shaft that sticks out from the drive shaft on the motor that sticks out. I think it came loose off that. I hope. I don't hear nothing rattling. So we gotta find out what we need to do to get this thing open. Let's take this antenna off so we don't break it. This has been through quite a few wrecks, this antenna anyways, on this car, as well as, oh, we got people coming. Live on the air, man. Fix him, man, live on the air. What's up?
Oh, I was just gonna snag the number, man.
Snag what?
I got your number.
Oh, my phone number?
Yeah. Well, if you're live. Then...
Yeah, I'm not gonna announce that. I mean, I think you can find it on Facebook and stuff. Not you, them. I think they could.
Yeah.
It's I don't even know it. Oh, yes, that's how I look it up. Right there. It's the only one that's there. Dox myself. I always say about that, like doxing the customers, because sometimes I don't move paperwork in time and show that. It's like, I don't think this is high profile enough where people are going to be looking for people. Nah. Alright, so let's continue with this. We're going to get our screwdriver out. We need a Phillips what? I don't know. We're just going to start ripping. Yeah, it'll text through. I just have that in there because I had two numbers at one point, and that's how I put my number in there. So if I ever needed to look it up, I could do it that way or go through another settings. Are you back on with cell service?
Yeah.
I think I texted your old number the one day. I was like,
Yeah, I got a new SIM just because that one was getting
insane.
Too many people have that one.
Dude, yeah, well, I have the same SIM that I've had since I got straight talk service. What's it called? And that thing was a full-size sim, like the full-size card, and then it got cut down to the micro, and then cut down from the micro to the nano. And it's been in every phone since. So.
We sent in the paper.
What's that?
Said officially married today.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah.
Cool, congratulations, man. There's an announcement for the let's embarrass ourselves while fixing stream. Married.
Yeah.
Cool, man. You're not going to go in front of like the JP or the magistrate?
No, I had a friend who's an officiator.
Yeah. Cool.
Signed it. And they sent me in.
Was it Pope?
No, I wasn't Pope.
I figured it would have been him. Of all people, he would be the guy that could actually legally marry people or something.
Yeah, it's a dude I talk about who's writing a novella.
No, okay. I thought you meant, yeah, but how cool would that be if it was him? Like the guy.
I don't know why he doesn't have his officiator thing yet.
Right, but for some reason he'd have some crazy story like he had to marry people while working at the group home or something.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Some backstory, man.
Yeah, right? That would be great though if that was the case.
Yeah. So somebody did it, and it's surprisingly easy. Well, we went to the courthouse Friday, and then
right.
you just you take it to somebody you can marry, like an officiator, justice of the peace. Even they just sign it.
Yeah, no, I did all that, and then
they keep one copy. You send in a copy, and you keep a copy.
Mine was signed by a guy, local judge here in the area. So, all right, now I got to start remembering stuff. We're pulling out screws that I'm not sure where they're gonna go. Long ones. Oh. So all the screws are the same on this thing. Back. All the screws are the same. I've taken out. So let's see. We've taken off the rear bumper, the rear mount, which was up here for the frame of the car, the body, the hollow plastic body. We're gonna have to end up undoing the shocks, and I believe we might need to get part of the body off. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it off and see what kind of hassle we're gonna run into with that, just to get at that gearbox easy. All the screws are the same size, minus the ones that come out here and here. You're dealing with long ones there, so. Well, at least one long one. I don't know. No, this side looks short like the others. So there. I have to remember where that one goes. What fun. And then that one. We'll do that and that. Part for curiosity's sake at one point, but what's it called? It's been, I think before I even drove it new out of the box, the first thing I did was tear it apart to check out the gears to see how gypped I was on a $60 car. Did I like way overpay on my $60 car or not? No, I didn't think so. Plastic gears though, definitely. Surprisingly strong plastic gears though. I don't know what they're made out of. Was it some type of acetate? It's basically the white gears that you can buy bulk of on eBay for super cheap. But you can actually get direct replacement parts for this as, let's hop over here on the live, or yeah, onto the live stream. Helion Verdikt parts. So there's, you can get a whole gearbox, or driver body seat. We got links, pivot ball, the dog bones for the, well, they're called, it's the axles basically. Okay, spur gear, differential housing and spur gear. So very, very cheap to maintain if you did want to get into something like this. And then they make the even higher end to build as you want kits. What's up, man? You just chilling?
No,
checking it out?
Yeah, I'll take it. No, I mean, have a look at that RC car.
I upgraded it. It did like, I think 20 or 25, I'm gonna say 20, 25 miles an hour. And it has an upgrade kit, and it bumped it up to like 20, I think 20 or 25 miles an hour more, so it's pretty quick.
Wait, so it's like around 50?
About 40, 45, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'll take an ankle.
Yeah. Alright, so we gotta disconnect. Where do we have to disconnect? We need the antenna out, that'll slide out, and our power lead for our transmitter, the balance lead off the battery. Red goes in, okay. And then our antenna comes out. We've got that off. We still got to tear in. We're going to end up, those are loose already. We need to remove the suspension. Actually, I think we can just get around it by pulling. I think we need those out. Might end up putting them back right now. Let me see here. That will let the gearbox come loose, and then the bottom ones will also. And then we can just undo. We can get at one, but we can't get to the other. It's being blocked by the cover on the motor. Alright, we're undoing suspension, and then I'm not even on the camera. Alright, we're undoing, we need to undo maybe suspension, I'm not sure. Here's the dog bone part, basically the drive axle that runs into the differential in spur gear. We're going to undo it here, and that will let these fall, and maybe the shocks. I don't know if the shocks will spread apart without doing any damage, so we're going to go ahead and undo those as well. So far we have 3 different types of screws. We're going to put some back where they go. Okay, that I don't like, but let's find out. Right on the microphone. Way to go, man. Right on the mic. Here, we'll get a little bit closer. A little bit closer on this thing. Boy, I do not like how that's... Okay, it just fell off. It didn't spring off, so I didn't lose nothing yet. By the end of the video, though, put your bets down, people. How many screws am I going to drop on the floor and be hunting during the live stream for them to put this thing back together? What is that, a 4th? That may or may not be a 4th different type of screw. So these are going to go right back into where they came out of after we get this gearbox off. We can disconnect. Another thing, here's a little lesson for people from brush to brushless motors. Brushless motors, you got to hook them up right. And basically brushless have 2 wires. You got your common or ground, or common wire with power, and then the ground wire, unless I've mixed them up. You'll have 2 wires, black and red, black and white, whatever. One's power, one's your ground. On a brushless motor, you're going to have 3 wires, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you mix them up, because if you hook them up in the wrong order, all it's going to do is your motor's going to run backwards. It's a brushless motor, and that's how brushless works. And to put this on paper to make it easier to understand, because someday somebody might ask a question. You know what? I'm trying to find a scrap paper, and we got printers in here. We'll just rob from a printer. Okay, got that. Clipboard is unknown location. Laminated paper works too. Okay, here's your brushless motor. those got to go back in as well. Is that possibly? Alright, brushless motor. You got your 3 wires, and you can do this however you want. You know what? You'll probably never see that. Color we want red. Red it is. Alright, and your 3 wires. So it's 1, 2, 3. And basically, if they just get mixed up, we'll take and we'll put one over to the end. And let's do it one more time. 2, 3, 1, 2. So no matter how you mix the wires up, it's still going to be repeating the same pattern. Basically, you need the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, if you mix up the location of the 3 or the 1, whichever wire you mix it up, it's still going to be running in the same pattern. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, which is just it rolls right over. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So just it's still going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's how brushless works. Or if you need to do it with ABC, it's basically the same thing. That's with them all mixed up. So if you hook up your 3 wires on a brushless motor and the motor's turning the wrong way, another example to make it hopefully a little more understandable. Yet again, oh wow, look at them props. They're a shade of green.
Oh.
Yeah, so the green screen. Yeah, I can't get them props to show. No way, no how.
Yeah, that shade.
Okay. So I promise you, they look fake in CGI, and they might be. This could all be a setup for me to educate you wrong on RC models and how they fly over the flat Earth. But yeah.
Hear about, maybe say it for the podcast, but they found life on Mars.
Oh my goodness. CGI life?
Fungal. But yeah, CGI fungal. Yeah.
CGI fungus. What else in 2019, people?
Yeah.
You heard it here, maybe not first, but second for sure.
I haven't heard any major news outlets report on it yet. It's just from NASA and shit, so.
So you hook up your 3 wires. All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping in. Always like people.
Well, I got your number now, so.
Sweet. All right, your brushless motor. Again, 3 wires. 1, 2, 3. Now you hook it up, and when it's hooked up the right way, this prop here is going to spin this way. Same with this one over here. Okay, so for this one to fly, these props have to go like that to keep it in the air. Which, if you think about, and you know anything about quadcopters, you know that the 2 in the front always go this way. And you can do that. You can do it either way on this one. It just takes a bit of a different tweaking if you want to have them where they're spinning like that or spinning like that. But that's not why we're here. That's not why we got this out. When hooking these up, and you don't, now they have it so you can just change it literally in the software, in the firmware on your flight controller, your clean flight or open flight or tri-flight. In the case of what's on this, it's tri-flight. If the motor's hooked up wrong and this prop would be spinning this way and creating no lift, it would actually be pushing down the way the prop's shaped. I don't know, you can kind of see that there's a twist in it. So this is your high side, this is your low side. It needs to spin that way. But say it was spinning that way. You just reverse 2 wires out of the 3 and your brushless motor will start spinning the right way, the opposite way of what it was just spinning. So no fear if you're messing with RC stuff and brushless motors. It really comes down to ABC or 1, 2, 3. ABC. I can't sing, we're not doing that. So just 1, 2, 3. And say you hook them up, like I said, in the order of 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Well, it's still doing the 1, 2, 3 pattern. It's just not starting at the 1. It's still repeating the same pattern. And that's kind of, in a nutshell, how brushless works, to my understanding. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me on that. But I think it might work that way. We're getting the shakeout back to the car. I'm gonna lock up the door here quick. We don't want other people walking in. Luckily, that was a friend who showed up, not a customer. We're not open currently. Coincidentally, though, was one of the hosts of the Antisocial Experience podcast, which you should check out. Antisocial Experience podcast on Facebook or facebook.com/ASE. A is in Adam, S is in Steven, E is in Eve. At facebook.com/ASE live show. Plug the podcast there for a moment. All right, we're getting down to it here. We're getting close. We've got that part of the gearbox loose. We still need, I believe, these top ones here to come out. And that's going to loosen it up even further. I think we can get away with... Oh, these are stuck. I don't want to rip my wires loose. Okay, 1, 2, 3. What channel are we on? 3. Alright. Those are disconnected. We're going to go ahead and get the other screw pulled out for... I don't know the names of all these parts. I just know this car is fun, and I know what some of them are called, ones that I've had to replace. Kind of like, I guess it's kind of like a tie rod. It ties the tire in where it needs to, and you got your arms. These dog bone things are pretty neat. Now, we've got one final piece that we need to unmount. We pulled the screws out there, and we pulled them out of there. This motor, essentially, I don't see why it wouldn't be, but should be loose now. All right, let's flop those out and take a look down here. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's really just kind of set in there, kind of sturdy. So let's figure out which way it unlatches from that. Is it a forward motion, a sideways? There's that. We have that loose. We never put those back in. We'll keep removing. All right. Whew, look at all the grit in there. Check it out. Hauling around that extra weight. No need for that, huh? I was going to bang that out over the trash, but say some parts fall in there. I don't want to have to dig it out of the trash, so we're going to brush it out on the bench and let this sit. Hey, those down folding tires, anybody ever seen Back to the Future? Where we're going, we don't need roads. I don't think they did it like that, but... Alright, to the heart of the matter. The pain of this car's existence, why it is not great again, in hopes to be. We need to open this box here up and see. Very interesting. Okay, so we've got 1 screw, 2 screws. Really? There's got to be more than 2 screws that hold that in. 1? Okay, I'm counting 1, 2. Maybe not. Maybe this is a 2 screw thing here. All right, so we've got 1 here in this location. And then the other one is, oh wait, sorry, I didn't count right. Wires were blocking it. So we've got one here, 1 here, and then 1 here. So 3 screws. And possibly more, I don't know. We got to figure out about how the motor mounts in there. I think whenever, that's why I tore this apart when I got it, to install the upgrade kit. I think you had to tear it down and remove the gearbox to put this motor in, if I'm not mistaken, because there's no actual mounts here for it that you can see. we're going to put the 3 for the gearbox on our little battery door. They are all the same. They're very similar to other screws on the entirety of the car. They're basically all the same thread, just different heads on them. Probably for aesthetics and what it holds together. And then after that, I do believe this is going to come apart now. Just how easy, I don't know. Let's get something to kind of pry with and see. Not bad, not bad. I remember opening this before. I think I opened it and gears fell out because I had never been opened. There we are. Okay. So, nope, that's what happened. We actually broke a gear right there. Okay, so we're not going to be fixing this yet. We need to find a part. We're going to go ahead and get the part. I really hoped to be able to fix this. Yeah, that sucks. I know we had to change. Wow, we've got a couple places. Check it out. So these teeth wore down a good amount over the life of the car so far. Not the rest of the white, whatever they are, gears, but specifically this gear here. It seems like even with those couple missing, as long as it's touching, no, they're really wore down. Okay, so I think when the first initial gear, whenever the tooth come off, it still had a little bit to it, but then I tried moving from a dead stop, and yeah, that one spot, the teeth are really worn down where it's missing a gear. And then from it not running properly, it wore the tips off the rest of the teeth just from over time. All right, so we got to find a gear. Oh, if you could quit dropping your stuff, Nick, you'd be okay. You'd be doing all right. Quit smashing expensive stuff off the ground. All right, so we know what the problem is. We've identified the problem. How much is this part going to cost us? Hopefully $3, $4, $5. Let's say worst case scenario, $30 after shipping. I'd still be happy because the car would drive again, but at that cost, I'm guessing we're going to get some entire new gears. This spur gear, the one that when you spin one tire, it spins the other tire the opposite way, that whole setup's pretty neat. Maybe we'll take a look at that once we get into repairing this, or possibly now. I don't know. Not like right now, but today. Let's go and look. We got the parts page pulled up. Helion Verdikt parts. So here we are. Get some vape, and where is it at? Okay, Helion Verdikt 12SC differential housing and spur gear. And that is 100% not the part we're looking for, but that is the housing for the differential and then the spur gear that goes with it. Steering hardware kit, Verdikt 12 SC spur gear. So that is the gear in question. That looks like, right here, it looks like it has the spots in it to put the bearings in. And we're going to flip back and forth. If we look at it there, yes, we're looking at it kind of like that without the bearings. Come on, camera. I know you can focus on the dang thing. I just don't know how close you're willing to focus. There we go. Now if it just holds that focus. So you can see on the teeth there, we've got teeth missing here. Teeth missing there. If it'll stay in focus. Definitely not. So some missing there. How many people are trying to do stuff on YouTube and they're just like, if this camera would focus. Autofocus never works. Still not working. Overloading the camera. What is you and where did you come from? Right there? Probably gonna fall out again. Let's try that. Can we get it to focus there and hold it? Probably not. We are missing teeth there and there. So we have some on that side. It looks like a whole tooth missing there and a whole tooth missing there. And then just from running, trying to get, like, I didn't know. I thought maybe just the gears had bound up or something. I wasn't sure what had happened. And my initial guess was that this little pinion gear had come loose on the motor shaft, when indeed it didn't. It is on there tight. But what had happened after the tooth was missing and spinning the throttle up, it kind of just ground the rest of the edges of the teeth off. You can see a few more teeth that are kind of ready to go. They're ready to actually getting ready to break off. You got plastic shards down in here from them being ground down. And comparing this gear, this lovely gear that my camera refuses to focus and hold it on. Yeah, drifting in and out. Okay, that awesome little gear there. The teeth aren't quite as sharp on it as they are on that one. So those ones are nice and pointy. Or at least on the outside teeth here. Those ones are pretty well rounded. The inner ones are kind of rounded. You can see that in the picture here. So this is what we're going to get, that gear, and that verifies the other side of it. If we want to take a quick look, how it looks like a little wagon wheel or something. That's the other side. Matches up. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and get this ordered. Real quick though, I'm curious to find out if there is if they make a metal version of this spur gear that those bearings would press into. My guess is no. I do know a guy. That has a machine shop who I know have a relationship kind of with him just from seeing him often for many years for another job. So I met him through work. That has a machine shop. Maybe he could make something like this. I know another guy with a machine shop, but I think he just does lathe work and other stuff. I don't know if he can do a machine gear or not. But we're going to go ahead and take a look online and see if we can't just buy one. typed that right. Helion Verdikt metal spur gear. A-Main Hobby. Let's see what A-Main offers. Maybe they have something a little different. Nope, looks like the same stuff. And that guy telling me there's upgrade parts. I'm not seeing a whole lot of metal upgrade parts at all. Differential gear set. That's pretty cool. Wow, they make quite a few parts. Alright, there we go. Buy a couple of everything. We got bushings. I don't even know where those go. Let's look at the second page. 4mm lock nuts. Differential hardware set. Impact verdict. Contact. So relatively cheap. And who else is up here? Who's that? Hobbytown. I've ordered through Hobbytown before, I believe. So I should still hopefully have an account with them. I'm going to go ahead. November 30th, 2016. So this car is already like a few months. It's going to be 3 years old. You know, depending on when they added it. They probably added it when it was relatively new. I have another neat project. I'm not going to talk about it. We'll do a live stream on it. But since we're talking RC right now, and this is one of the things I do have a slight passion for it. Not huge. I'm not in love with RC stuff completely, but I do like it. Tyco. Who remembers Tyco Turbo Fusion Hopper? I remember that one. The Jet Hopper. Who remembers the Tyco? It wouldn't even be Tyco. It was Tayo. Jet Hopper RC. I had one of these years ago. Mine was a black one, and it was missing a lot of stickers, and that was basically it. That was one of the first good RC cars that I remember that wasn't like nitro powered or whatever, years ago. If you have one of these things and it still works, get it on eBay unless you're holding on to it for a specific reason. I wish I still had mine. I never had the correct transmitter for it. I wished that I'd had one of these transmitters because you would push the throttle, okay? Let's go back to the right cam. And funny enough, I don't have that type of transmitter. I have the one for the car, but I do have another transmitter that sort of resembles that one over here in the big picture that we're looking at. We've got this right here. Okay. This is for that wing, most of my other models. It didn't go up and down here, it just went left and right, like a transmitter of this style would go left and right, and you'd have your forward and reverse. But on your forward, you'd push it up and it had like a stop to it, but not like a hard, it wasn't a hard stop, but you could feel it kind of click and stop. And then if you pushed it further, that's when it would engage the turbo of this style car. It was pretty neat. That's how I remember it anyways. Well, I had a transmitter that was just a normal, it happened to work on the same frequency. It had a left and right, and it had the reverse and then the forward, but it didn't have the stop. It didn't have that little extra bit on it. You could just put it full throttle and the car would randomly, the turbo would kick in and then kick back out. So was there a problem with the car or my transmitter? I don't know, but I never had the right transmitter for it. That's kind of why I probably stopped playing with it. Maybe I was just a kid and left it out, and, you know, mom, stepdad, dad, whoever found it and like, oh, this thing's junk now, who knows. So yeah. But if you have one of those, get it on eBay. If you have one and want it fixed and ain't up to the task, get a hold of me. I'd love to work on one, restore it, get it fixed. There's another thing that I've been trying to find. Let's go here. Tyco turbo hopper. I think we already looked this up, I understand. Let's go to images. This was a real popular one you'd see on shirts, like actual, like a cartoon drawing of cars from races and dealing with this other stuff. They re-released them, these little ones. I did have one of these at one point, but it wasn't anything like the original. It was a mini version of it. One of my first RC cars was not indeed, it wasn't the jet hopper. It looked more like this, but it was bigger. That's a shame that's not going to get bigger. It looked kind of like that, but it was a different color scheme. And what it was your Dollar General variant of a popular RC car, but it was not radio control, it was remote control, meaning, let's look it up and see if we can find it. Anytime you put that name in there, yeah, it gets confused. Tayo. RC clone. Yeah, I can't find who actually makes the car, but an RC car, you don't have, it's got a wire running from the remote to the car itself, and you gotta follow along behind it, which means it doesn't go very fast. It's gonna go at a pace that a kid can walk with it. It is 7:28, so I think we're gonna end this and be done with the RC stream. We do know what we need to order. I'm not gonna order that on the live stream. I will order it. We'll get that part in very soon, and we can make this car great again, hopefully, and have some fun with it. Here's the thing though, here's the challenge. I need to think about it. Can we live stream the footage of driving the car? I'm sure we can. How do we do this? Because the goggles or the TV screen doesn't have, yes, we can do it. I have the missing link in how we're going to do it. There will be a delay, but we will live stream the car driving. I think I just riddled this out because it has composite, RCA is what I call them. That way I don't confuse them. The connection coming out of my FPV goggles or my screen is going to be 3.5 millimeter TRRS, whichever one it is. It's the 4-pin or 3.5 millimeter connection for the screen, and then for the goggles, basically the same thing. We've got our screen, antennas go on, plug in a lithium LiPo battery, put it on the tripod, and we're good to go. The connection it takes is 3.5 millimeter, but instead of 3, like for a headphone, it actually has the 4. what we're going to use to get the stream to from the car. We're going to transfer the video wirelessly, okay? Transfer the video wirelessly. We're going to send it to the screen and then keep viewing on the screen, but we're also going to send some AV out this port here to our little USB capture device, or maybe we could use the Hauppauge HP or HD PVR2, because it will take red, white, and yellow input, or even S video, and I have the cables that we can go from 3.5 to red, white, and yellow. So this is what's going to be running the video signal. I think we'll do that once we get it fixed. We'll do a RC Car live stream. See if that gets anybody interested. Maybe we'll advertise it ahead of time. Anyhow, oh, I just hit my head. You gotta love that. Oh, okay, there, I was standing too close to the shelf. Anyhow, let's get you up here. I have a little bit of assembly together, so we'll stay on for that. I'm just gonna get some stuff put back together so I don't, mainly so my old brain that I just hit again, I just hit my head on something. So I don't lose all these awesome parts. So, okay, I get it, and that's how that motor mounts in area. So yes, before I even got to drive the car. No, that's a lie. I think I did drive it and see how fast. I was impressed with the 25 mile an hour. I'm like, dang, that's quick. And we're gonna make it quicker. Yeah, oh yeah, we did. Oh wow, look, we've got the evidence. There's evidence littered all over. Look at that. We've got the teeth. And all the plastic shavings. Wow. See, I wish they made that stuff out of metal. Mainly grease, but there is quite a few plastic shavings there. I'm going to clean that all out once we are doing the assembly, the reassembly. Actually, we're going to tear the whole car down and clean it. Like the entire car is going to get cleaned up. So we'll probably pull the electronics, pull the switch, pull this little bay where there used to be a pilot who we left his body, but we decapitated, took the head off. You don't need that. It's 2019. Who needs a head to see where they're driving? Come on. Get with the program. The woke wagon has left. If you're not on, then you're out of luck. Go back to having a head in 2019. Oh, just go on a stupid rant. Anyhow, let's put these few bolts in so we don't lose the vital parts. The ones that I'm always scared of losing, the important ones that hold the transmission, basically. This is our engine and transmission all in one. Not a bad size. I wish they were this easy to work on in real cars, you know? See, this is where, like right now, if I was doing this as a video, this is a great spot where recording the video and then uploading it later would work after you have time to edit it. And also you can order the part. And then, you know, you can order the part. It shows up and it's like all seamless, all one experience. But I don't go that route. I like doing it live. One, it keeps it pretty genuine and honest. Two, when you do something dumb, like forget about, don't pry on glass with metal and break a screen, you gotta own up to that. When you make mistakes live, you gotta own them. They're yours. Editing, you can hide that stuff. I know some people do go ahead and leave it in, but some of them actually just talk about it in the video. Others actually leave the whole incident in, and yeah, you could do it either way. But when it's live, there's no question. So, I don't know, just a little more fun for me doing it this way. A lot less work There's no editing involved in live streaming. I suppose you could record the live stream and re-release it later, edited to save on time, but hey. Alright, let's put a couple more parts back together, and then the rest, fairly certain we can handle that at a different point in time. Once we have the, oh, what did I want to say? Our little, the gear, the spur gear. Once that arrives, we will be able to install it. So let's do a minimal reconstruction. Where is it at? Right there. And here. Hopefully the audio is sounding better too. Please, if anybody does watch and you feel like leaving a comment, not that many people do, just leave a comment. Let me know if the audio is better. If you've seen this stream and streams from, like, we'll say last week and before, let me know if the audio sounds any better this way than the past streams. Hopefully it does. According to my ears, it does, but if somebody wants to let me know, that would be awesome. You don't have to, that's not a requirement. Okay. Uh-oh, guess what? That's what dumb old me did. There, come back here for a minute, check this out. Okay, so, old Nick, yes, I pulled another Nick. We went and put the cart ahead of the horse. I thought there was a crazy gap there, but I've been wrong before about stuff. So this little piece here has to go underneath there, and then we'll work on getting those sides in. Actually, not hard to do at all. That, put that in. It kind of is keyed. It's got a little spot where it will snap in. There's one. There's one. We've got that in. Let's put these two back in, and we're going to attach our suspension, our coilovers, our mini coilovers. So that's got to get, okay, I get it. I can say I'm pretty impressed with this car, so the construction of it, how much this, whatever this material is, this plastic, polymer, who knows what, whatever it's constructed out of is pretty sturdy. Like, I didn't jump this thing a whole lot. I did do some jumping, rolled it, smashed it into the curb, like where the sidewalk ends and goes down off to the road, slammed it into there, forward and reverse quite a few times, and yeah. Mainly drove it with the frame or the body, the real thin plastic hollow body off, because I didn't want to bust that up. But maybe we'll have to throw it back on now that we know that you can buy those too. Okay, we've got that. Let's connect these two. Now we will leave our dog bone axles out. We don't need to connect the motor. All a time saver for later on. Okay. Don't crank them tight. Okay, so that is, I'm going to call that pretty good for right now. We'll go ahead. A few other vital components are the battery cover. It keeps your battery in. This little keyed pin. It is keyed on one side to keep it from spinning and letting your cotter pin like spin and hang down, so it can get bent and, you know, hitting into things if it was hanging below the body of the car. The antenna for now will survive like that. The rest of this, I think we're gonna get away with leaving it off for now. These all go to oh, really? Really now? Okay, so let's look. If that sets there, and those sit there, that just goes up over, and that's with the back. Okay. This actually screws to that, so we didn't even need to take that off. And these are all the underneath pieces for this thing. Let's go ahead and thread them. No, they're not longer. Okay. Go ahead and get that threaded in. And get this part ordered. I'm going to see what kind of shipping they have, so we can hopefully continue this in not like next month. We'll hopefully do it beginning of next week. This is what, Wednesday? I hope to have it done before the week renews itself again. Or not before, whenever we get in the Monday, Tuesday next week. Hopefully the part is here, and we'll be repairing the car, and we'll get it ready to do the live stream. That's something we can prepare for in the meantime. Getting that ready. Testing out FPV CCTV camera to FPV transmitter, FPV receiver at the other end of the link to TV. Well, the TV will pick it up too, plus we could use the goggles. This is going to be fun. Alright, stay tuned till next time. What are you? Oh, rear headlights, of course. Where did it go? Did I really tear that apart? I was gonna say. Okay, no. Wrong way. Those. That goes on there. That comes back. Yeah, it actually does sit right there. Okay. Okay. Just trying to remember. We're going to assemble this. The screws. Kind of will thread it together a little and hopefully not lose these ones. I'm trying to pack up as few screws as possible. That one's not going to stay in there very well. That's an entirely different screw. We're going to tape that. So we really only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loose. We could actually probably bolt some of this down. And not have an issue putting it back together. Two, 3, 4, 1, 2. Let's find out. If we don't have to put any screws away except tape one, that's a good evening while we wait on the part. And the car is still mostly disassembled. Got one. Where's the other match? Right there. Two. One, two. All right, now. Goes to the front. This hooks underneath. By two that are going to be fairly scraped up and corroded, I'm saying, just from going over stuff. I've got our culprits right here. If it threads in there, does it also not thread in? Yeah, it threads into the motor. Let's put them back, temporary. Right, so we've got those two. Dog bones are out. Those are attached, attached, attached. Boom, boom, boom. Where go the last two, people? We put all of them back in the gearbox. We've attached that. Those go there, so there's nothing to attach there. That's torn out. That's there. That's there. And that attaches underneath. That does go there. Has to. I'm convinced. That's there. Of course it does. Okay. Last two go here and here. And those have to be wrong. We need ones that don't have this head. So we're going to take these two. Same thread, just a different, it has the just normal head on it instead of the flattened out pan head. Either that or I mix two up elsewhere. I don't think it much matters. In some parts, other parts I would say yes, 100% it does matter. All we do is squishing plastic on the back, squishing some of the plastic out of the way on the back bumper, which that's not a vital thing, but for the sake of putting it back together properly, we'll just swap these now. Some of the stuff I didn't need to tear apart too. I could have saved time by not even messing with it, but I didn't know. I know it was a nightmare of a time the first time I tore it apart, getting it back together. I had to look at it in slightly different this time. I didn't get puzzled and confused for as long of a time. The second time around tearing it apart. And we'll be revisiting it again real soon, so hopefully I won't struggle at all then. Okay, 1 and 2. Very good, very good. Connections, connections, connections. Everything's good. Shouldn't lose any of them. None of them are loose where they're gonna move around too much, being wiggled around here and there. And that being said, let's put our little RC car away and wait on the part that we have to order. Not a bad project. Couldn't do it while working though, so after hours it is. And we bring a lot of work into after hours, so not a bad change of pace. Not a bad change of pace at all. There it is. Okay. Alright, everybody, that was, at least we diagnosed what's going on with the Helion Verdikt. We need to get a new spur gear for it. I'm gonna get that ordered. Get this restored to driving condition again. We're gonna retrim it a little. I think it's a little out. While I'm thinking of it, of course, if the camera's on it and we put it in a different spot, okay, that makes sense. We may chop a hole through the plastic body roof and have the GoPro sticking up out of that. If we're going to think about doing that, we need to flip over this here. So it will hold the frame. Definitely not. Okay. Sorry, get my big head in the way of that overhead shot. Alright, ready for the plastic body if we want to put that on once we reassemble everything for the repair. Can't wait, it's going to be fun. This thing is fast. For a $60 car with a, I believe, $60 upgrade, $120 with a little tax added on. Not a bad investment. A whole lot of fun. I don't know if you can still buy the complete cars or not. If you can and you find one, grab it. Even without the upgrade, they're a blast. Good fun, and you're not, true, you may be staring at goggles or an FPV screen, but you won't be staring, you know, online constantly. It's good fun. Get outside, find a track, make your own track. Alright people, have a good evening. I am going to clean up the rest of this stuff. I got to find something to put all my random parts in here. That way we don't lose them. I'm going to look for a little box and get this packed up until we get the spur gear here. We will continue. Make sure you tune back in to see the repair, the rest of the repair for this Helion Verdikt RC car. And then we're going to do a live stream of the first drive of the car after being repaired. We're going to go ahead and get it hooked up to live stream the driving event of it. Nothing major. Many people drive RC cars, but we're going to do a live stream when it takes its first ride again. So keep following the channel, the feed. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it or was entertained at all, so think about subscribing. Come back often. I'm here. I usually try to do something daily, but I don't always get to due to being busy with work and whatnot. Anyhow, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's one of those, and I will see you tomorrow.